What's going on, sir?
Man? How are you?
Good. How are you?
I'm doing well. I was working on my golf swing in the simulator.
I was about to say what part of the country are you in right now?
Yeah, I'm in Philadelphia right now.
Oh yeah.
Yep.
I heard in one of the podcasts. I like that you gave Jay some stick about saying that he shoots in the 80s because he
Yeah,
shot 88 once.
yeah. I gave him trouble. That's like it's the world that we live in now. You know what I mean? You just broadcast your best. So,
Oh,
uh,
absolutely.
but when he connects with the ball, I played with him in Miami last week. When he connects with the ball, he can really hit it far.
Who do you think is going to be the best golfer out of the guys that is he going to be the best golfer out of your guys?
For sure, Jason. Yeah, just because he actually takes lessons and he actually likes it and cares about it.
Yeah, yeah. It's been humorous as because obviously I was a golf person beforehand, like seeing how guys have gotten obsessed with it when they had nothing else to do.
Yeah, I mean that's the quarantine life. You know what I mean? So, um, yeah, but no, it's been fun. It's been fun playing. It's been also a good way to connect with the guys. It's funny how sometimes I usually get FaceTimes from the guys and they'll talk basketball and now I'll get a few of my guys that are getting into golf. They'll FaceTime me. Hi, bro. So when you were showering the club, what did you do, etc. So,
That's so good.
yep.
I was there's a guy in my city who hosts a podcast, and I gave him heck for this. And I was going through your Twitter about just kind of doing some research for this. You had one tweet that I resonated 100% with was the fact that raisins do not belong in oatmeal cookies.
Not at all. Not at all.
So,
I'm a
so
simple guy. I'm a simple guy. I don't like to mix too many things. So,
well, to
yeah,
me, it's like if you're gonna make oatmeal cookies, you can just put chocolate chips in there.
yeah. No, it's something. Just not. I just leave them plain. There's no reason to mess up
Like,
oatmeal cookies. You know what
no,
I mean? So,
so Nick, there you go. Well, might as well get going now. So I will listen to a bunch of podcasts and interviews you've done. So I'm gonna try to keep the anecdotes away from stuff that you've talked about a lot previously. I'm gonna start with your 1,000 shots a morning. Um, that's kind of a story that should be kind of well known at this point for
yep.
people that are in the community. Looking back on it now that you've been like training for like 13 years or whatever it is, how would you change that routine, or what do you think it like? And to flip side, what did it provide you more than anything?
Yeah. So I would say the easy answer is if I had to change what I was doing is instead of every morning spending an hour and a half shooting jump shots, I would have definitely mixed in a variety of other skills that could have helped grow my game even more. So, my routine was basically 500 catch and shoot jump shots, and then I did 500 off the dribble jump shots. If and I did mix in off the dribble. I did do some step backs and pullbacks and stuff like my hezzy jump shots, etc. Um, but if I could do it again, I would definitely I'd probably spend I'd have corner lifts and corner drifts and sprint outs and transition catch and shoots and and then I would also mix in some finishes, mix in some stuff like that. So I think the big thing that I've learned is just efficiency with what you do. One of the things that I think sometimes gets out of context is I always say, like, don't waste time on clown drills. And people, they think that I'm just trying to basically, trash other trainers. But the truth is, it's not that those drills don't help you. If you dribble and catch a tennis ball at the same time, it will help you get better. It's just you can utilize that time more efficiently and effectively to get better results. Same thing. If you're out there and you just pound dribble the ball, you are going to improve your handles. But you could use that same time doing something that's more efficient and effective and get better results. So I think
Yeah.
that sometimes trainers just see the word clown and they get offended by it. First off, if you get offended by a generic statement that just says clown drills, that means you think your drills are clown drills. The second thing is you have to understand that our job as trainers is to basically maximize the use of time that we have. And I look back at when I first started training Brad Beal, that was before I kind of knew what I was doing. We spent a lot of time. Well, I say we spent 3 hours a day working out, which is crazy thinking back.
Yeah.
Hour and a half of it was all game-like, game simulated, everything that he actually does now and did then. The other hour, or maybe like let's call it an hour, was doing moves that we saw Dwayne Wade, Michael Jordan, Kobe Bryant do a few times in their career. And the truth is, while maybe it did help improve Brad's footwork, or maybe it did allow him to improve his balance, we could have used that time more efficiently. And so that's what we do now. So I think that's the biggest thing that I would say that I've learned over the course of my training career. And then the other thing that goes hand in hand with that is I think that a lot of trainers try to make up for the lack of teaching by doing things that maybe are impressive or fun or entertaining just to keep their players engaged. Like I hear it all the time where they'll be like, well, Drew, not everybody can do this. And I'm like, you know what? When I got Jayson Tatum when he was 13 years old, we worked on the jab step for the first week and we didn't shoot a jump shot. And I think Jason's doing all right for a 22-year-old. You know what I mean? And so I just think that we live in a culture now that everybody wants to post on Instagram. And so, I mean, you see all kinds of stuff. You know what I mean? You see even things like one of the things I implemented with Zach LaVine a couple years ago was a no dunk rule. During workouts, I don't want to see you dunk. I want to see you work on your finishing. And when, again, I started working with him in 2013. So we're talking about 7 years ago. 7 years ago, he would split a ball screen and slow down so he could get his footwork right, so he could do a 360 between the leg dunk. We would post on Instagram, it would go viral. And while that is impressive, I just realized, okay, that's a wasted opportunity where we could work on floaters. That's a wasted opportunity that we could, work on a mini hook finish or a veer finish or whatever. So, I can't stand. Sometimes I feel bad for the players when I see social media videos and I'm like, like that looks cool, but you're never going to do that in a game. It was funny the other day, we gave, and again, it was all fun, just so you know, but Taco had a video, Taco Fall had a video where he did a dream shake fadeaway and then something else, and Jayson Tatum had sent it in our group text with Taco and myself, and I said, Taco, get your ass back on the block until you can't miss a jump hook. All we need you to do is set screens without moving. We need you to be able to roll and catch bad passes. We need you to be able to just finish with both hands around the rim, and then we need to be able to make free throws. And so then, Taco gives me trouble because I'm like, Taco, I'll be out in L.A. next week. We'll start up. He goes, what are we doing this summer? And I was like, 250 right-hand hooks, 250 left-hand hooks, and 250 free throws. And then it's like, he's like, okay, what after that? I'm like, 250 right-hand hooks, 250 left-hand hooks, and 250 free throws. Yeah,
I'm gonna throw you some real bad passes and.
Yeah, that's what he needs to work on. And then if I really want to, help him out, the next thing that we'll do is work on just being able to, move his feet a little bit more laterally so that he can be better in pick and roll coverage because that's what's going to add value to the Celtics. That's what's going to get him on the court. The more he's on the court, the more valuable he is, and the longer his career is going to be. So I think people don't realize that, what rid of in a purposeful workout. So, that my biggest advice to players or coaches or trainers that are watching this is just ask yourself, not is this a good drill? Is this the best drill that we can be doing with this time that we're using?
Yeah, and I know you have a concept of basically like master your role that's going to impact winning now while preparing for your next role.
Yeah.
What would be the specifics or like what would be an example of that concept?
I'll use Kelly Oubre, for example. When Kelly entered the league, we worked on defense, and then the next year we worked on spot-up shots and attacking closeouts was the next thing, and the next thing was shooting off the move, and then now we're finally in year 5 or 6. I don't know what year this is for Kelly. Now we're finally working on actually creating, like beating a defender. 5 years. I've worked with him for 5 years, and now I think here's the problem. If I showed what a lot of the NBA workout stuff on Instagram, people would be like, why are you showing us catch and shoots? Like, majority of our workouts are contested shots or contested finishes. So if I show you, a Kelly Oubre workout, he's going corner drifts, and there's college interns that are flying at him trying to block his shot so he can get his shot off fast. He can work on landing on balance when there's somebody up under him, etc. Then, like, all right, now next thing we're doing is now you have to read him. If he stops short, shoot it. If he jumps and you can still shoot it, shoot it. If they run you off the line, then shot fake sidestep and then shoot the three.
Mm-hmm.
Now, we don't really post that stuff because people would be bored by it, but, I mean, that's what we do. Now, maybe once every week or two, we spend a day where we work on just if you get run off the line, you got to have a step back, or if you come off a ball screen and get a mismatch, you got to have that. And then we post that one step back, and people are like, Kelly Oubre is working on his step back this summer. It's like, no, Kelly Oubre was working on his game, but then, you know, we just worked on that step back because he does need to have a variety of moves if he does get in that situation. So I think that's the biggest problem. I mean, Shimi Olajay, great example. He increased his three-point percentage by, I think, 6.5%, 7% this year.
Yeah.
I don't even know how much he dribbled the ball this offseason. You know what I mean? All we did was we worked on catch and shoot, you know, and then catch and shot fake and maybe side dribble, but there was no, you know, he didn't have any of the Jayson Tatum side steps or shuffle backs or the Zach LaVine bump off. He didn't have any of that in his bag, but you know what? It helped him make more shots, become more valuable, and earn the trust of his teammates and coaches.
Yeah, no, I think the culture of we want to look like we're doing something more, I guess, is prevalent at all levels of basketball. And I guess I think is that a common trait of the guys that you work with, would be the kind of the humility or the fact that they're able to get into the gym and do simple things over and over again?
Yeah, I mean, I always tell people, like, people are like, wow, man, all your guys get better. It's again, I would love to pat myself on the back, but the truth is, you know, I'm very selective with who I work with. I only want players that love the game of basketball, that crave improvement, that are coachable, and that buy into the process of getting better. You know, it's not like you can't, you know, Knicks fans were so mad because I said RJ Barrett, I said, yeah, he's in like a 2 to 3 year process of rebuilding his shot. And they're like, 2 to 3 years? And I'm like, yes, it takes that long. And the other thing is, people will look at somebody like RJ last year as a rookie, not shooting a high 3-point percentage, and they're like, oh gosh, he's never going to be efficient and effective. And I'm like, do y'all realize Michael Jordan shot under 20% for the first 5 years of his career from three? Oh, well, it's a different era now. Well, Kevin Durant shot under 30% his rookie season. Kevin Durant's a decent shooter. You know what I mean? Like,
yeah,
one of the best ever. So I think that too many people, you know, rush the process instead of just understanding that development takes time. And if you do it the right way, you build a good foundation, then you build on that foundation, and then eventually you have the stability and consistency to get results all the time instead of just when you're at your best.
Yeah. The one thing you did in October, I know you released the Pure 30 cheer challenge. I think that was based on kind of your initial starting point of your high school or your I guess middle school workouts, right?
Yo, so I heard your last question, and then you broke up on me. But yeah, the Pure 30 challenge was basically what I did when I was younger, but in a more efficient and effective way. So the first question that you asked was, what changes would you have made? I made those changes for the Pure 30. So
yep.
The Pure 30 had a nutritional component, which was no sweets, basically no soda, no candy, no anything like that, which was, you know, for me, it was just all about being disciplined. I know that it also improves your body when you're not putting artificial sugar and junk into your body, but it was more about the discipline, you know what I mean, to be able to, do something that's hard, you know, over and over again on a consistent basis. And then the other thing was, a athletic component. I used to do a jumping program every single day, so I did an athletic component. Doing it every day makes a big difference. And then the final component was the basketball, which basketball was all about just being able to, not just do shooting. It was finishes with your right hand, finishes with your left hand, moves into shots, catch and shoot. So that's what I would say is the Pure 30 was a great way for me to show players what I would do if I was younger to being able to be able to form the discipline that's so important, and then also to improve every aspect of your game.
No, and I love the fact that there was a clear almost like end goal in sight. And I think that the next level of that was, you had a couple people doing it kind of daily on social media. And I think that could be a positive aspect of social media. Is you almost use it as like public accountability.
That's what I was going to say. That's the only reason I had them post stuff, is just because I even had some kids that would post for 2 days, and then they would, on the 5th day, they'd be like, "Oh, I forgot to post." I'm like, "No, you forgot to do it." You know what I mean? And so it was just a good way to hold them accountable and to be there for them, encourage them. And I had some people freak out where, say they were used to working outside and it was a bad weather day, and they'd say, "Coach, what can I do?" And I'd say, "Okay, hey, here's ways that you can adjust." You know what I mean? And gave them things to do. So, I thought it was a good way for people to form discipline and form good habits that hopefully will lead to improved performance moving forward.
And I know that's kind of your next phase of what you want to do is, how's the book writing going?
It's going. Book writing is so different than anything else. It's funny because when it comes to business, I'm always like, don't be a perfectionist, just go and then make adjustments. The writing process, I just had so much information that I wanted to put out there. And so I started with like 3,000 pages of, notes that I've taken throughout all my years of reading and going to speaking engagements, et cetera. And then, now I've been formalizing it. I basically come up with like 3 books that will be in a sequence. The first one is Stop BSing Yourself. It's about the art of actually following through with everything that you need to do. The second one is called Life Doesn't Suck. And again, it's just basically like, having perspective and how that can change your world. And the third one, I haven't decided what the title of the third one is. But the third one is basically all about, just being able to extract what you really want to do and what's really going to make you happy. And I think that that's one that people lose sight on, is like, being able to wake up and do whatever energizes you. And I think that all 3 of them will bring a ton of value to people that are kind of stuck with whether they're not taking action, stuck with don't know what to do, or stuck with kind of not realizing how blessed they really are. So
I know, like the Stop BSing Yourself, like on I think it was Real Leaders, you had on Jim Rome's, you had the quote of like 100% in is easier than 95.
For sure.
And like that, I heard that, I'm like, that makes a whole lot of sense. The context of that was without drinking coffee or drinking alcohol, right?
I mean, here's the thing. Like, I don't drink. I've never tasted alcohol in my life. I'm 31 years old. I know I'm legally allowed to do it. People think I'm crazy. Like, you don't like to have fun? I'm like, no, I don't need to drink to have fun. And so me being a non-drinker, I identify myself as a non-drinker because I've never tasted alcohol. If somebody asks me, "Hey, Drew, you want to drink?" I don't drink. Period. There's no discussion, no thinking. Whereas most people that say, "Oh, I'm going to give up drinking," they still associate themselves with, "I drink occasionally." So now every time they get asked, they're like, "Hey, you want to drink?" Now they have to go through a decision-making process of, should today be the day I drink? Should I only have one drink? One drink won't kill me. And they start going through this long cycle that not only wears them out, but also it just compromises what they really want to do. Think about it when most people do diets. I'm on a diet. Then their friends grab a pizza. One slice won't kill me. You're right. One slice will not kill you. But one slice turns into, next time you get asked to have an ice cream bar, one bar won't kill you. And then before you know it, it adds up. So that's the biggest thing right there.
I know we're kind of respectful of your time because we're about at the time we talked about. Last thing, and I think this is probably going to be the most important thing that we talk about, is your grandma had a quote about, "You'll never have everything you want, but you will always have more than you need." In what ways do you think has that manifested for you in the last, let's say, the last year or last 2 years?
Yeah, I would say, I mean, it's manifested since I heard that quote a long time ago. And what it means is, whenever we all live in a society that everybody wants more. whether you want more success, whether you want more money, whether you want more friends, whether you want more happiness, whether you want more whatever, a bigger house, a better car, better and more is what we're all striving for. And it's funny because in one way I'm always preaching, hey, don't settle, don't settle, don't settle. But also part of not settling is also appreciating where you are, and it's basically that weird kind of never-ending journey of being not content, but being blissfully happy with where you are, while striving for everything that you ever want. And so, to me, it's really just it's manifested in being able to help more people understand, that, hey, listen, just because you're not where you are, or not getting the credits you want, or not, whatever, you don't have the things you have, does not mean that you shouldn't appreciate all the things you do have. And so it's this weird fine line of, it's like you're always striving for more while appreciating all that you have that you need to find. And there's a super small gray area, and you've got to find yourself in that gray area where you don't have moments of doubt. You don't have moments of stress, because just know that, everything that's in your world is a blessing, but while also understanding that it's okay to want more, as long as the wants don't cloud your the blessings that you do have. So it's weird. I mean, it's the reason it's so hard to explain is because it's so hard to obtain. You know what I mean? It is so hard to obtain, where you just are completely at peace with who you are as a person, and while also wanting more for yourself. And so it's something that, one day I'll be able to explain, but for right now I just try to live it and try to get people to live it themselves, so that we can all be at more peace and with ourselves.
Beautiful. Well, I appreciate the last, I guess it's 9 months now of kind of building a relationship, and look forward to be able to chop it up in person and take some money from you on the golf course.
That will not be happening now that I know how to hit draws. Now that I know how to hit draws, my life has changed. So.
All right. Well, we'll see.
All right, my man.
All right, man. Looking forward to seeing you in person.
Yep. Sounds good. I'll see you, buddy. Stay safe.
Yes, sir.